Okay, so when I sit down to game plan, and like I said, for 90% of the time, the scheme's done. I know what we're going to run. I don't have to draw something new up. It's already in the can. But I do have to move my personnel around week to week. So, how do we start that? Well, we start with who makes tackles. It's usually 3 or 4 linebacker tight ends, like I talked about. Those guys play, and I say linebacker tight ends that actually play that position on offense or defense. Those are the guys that play for, in our scheme, the tight end position or the left back, right back position. They need to block the guys that are going to make tackles. I move those guys around in those back 4 to make sure my best is on your best. When you go into huddle, and again, a lot of huddle heavy lifting is coming in the final episode of this series, but one of the columns I use a lot is the opponent tackler category. You also create your own tackler or your own category to put whatever data you want in there, and I'll talk about that later too in the data episode of this, episode 7. I literally use the opponent tackler category, and I go through, and every time you kick the ball off, I want to know who makes a tackle, and I put all that in there. I run a report on it. It tells me. And some weeks it's 60%. One dude makes 60% of the tackles. Other weeks it's everybody makes the same amount of tackles. That information helps me. If you got a dude that makes 60% of your tackles, my best player is going to block that kid. End of conversation. That's a no-brainer for me. And that is preparation that you need to be doing on your kick return team if you're not doing it already. You need to know where they like to kick it as well, like I talked about. I use the pass zone column in huddle. My defense coordinator doesn't use that. You can also create your own category with your own numerical values and run your report, which I'll show you in that episode like I talked about before. I need to know where you kick the ball. I need to know where you kick the ball in all of your games. I need to know where you kick the ball in each of your games and what makes them different. And I have some really neat data from a past year that I'm going to show you in that episode about scouting report, where I can show you week to week, we kick the ball here. The next week, we kick the ball in a lot of different places. And there's a reason for that. So that's part of my scout. Again, like I talked about on the last slide, don't put a kid back there where they like to kick it if he can't catch. You know what? He always plays there. That's where I'm going to put him here. And if they kick it to him, oh, well, no, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. For me, there's not a dude on the field that doesn't know how to catch. I have to have that. But you may not. You may be in a situation where you're trying to steal a spot for a big bad dude who is a road grader. That's fine. You better not put that dude where they like to catch the ball. 3, what are the chances of onside? You know what your chances are. My chances are astronomically high. But I'm still looking to see week to week if that's higher than it usually is. I'm always prepared for it. But are we going against a team that onsides half the time or 20% of the time? Are we going against a team that last year onsided against us 4 times or 0 times? That's all the stuff I'm looking for.